I'm Ward Blackwell. Welcome to Front Street 411. You may have recently heard that the federal government had obtained millions of COVID-19 point-of-care tests and were distributing them to all 50 states. Well, when PDA found out about that, we promptly contacted Governor Wolf and the Department of Health and asked that they include dental offices in the distribution of those tests. Among other things, we pointed out that dentists have the education and training to do those tests, that could increase the total number of patients being tested, which could in turn slow the spread of COVID. And in a way, this could be a reassurance to patients that they should continue to maintain their oral health even during a pandemic. Now, exactly what PDA advocates for is always determined by our volunteer leadership, the PDA board and the Governmental Relations Committee. That particular committee wants to see the PDA be very focused to make the most of our resources for things that matter to our members when the next legislative session starts in January. So they've developed a survey that is going to go out to all our members, asking them what issues matter most to you. Now, the survey is going to be fairly short, should take less than 5 minutes for you to complete it, and it would be tremendously helpful if we get a large response. It comes out next week, so keep an eye out for it, please. So I'm going to take a little minute here now to hit a few high points from the ADA House of Delegates meeting that just concluded this past week. Your PDA delegates and alternate delegates to the ADA really got some very important issues passed that we were really fighting hard for. This includes adding to the ADA policy on dental plan reimbursement provisions that would require reimbursements to be based on the average of actual fees in an area, and that they adjust for inflation annually. They also passed resolutions supporting point-of-care testing and vaccine administration by dentists, which kind of ties back into what we talked about earlier. Other measures the ADA House passed include support for a Medicare, Medicaid type dental plan benefit for seniors, amendments to the teledentistry policy that made sure in-person versus teledentistry reimbursed the same, and that teledentistry can't be used to expand the scope or permissions for dental auxiliaries. And finally, a measure that asks for CODA to create accreditation standards for special care dentistry. Now, you may be aware that the ADA House this year was a virtual meeting, as everything in 2020 has been, but still, your PDA representatives did a lot of work through 5 long days of studying resolutions and these endless virtual meetings. Not only did this mean they had to give up productive time out of their office, they also had to sacrifice some weekend activities that for some of us evoke quite a bit of passion. But PDA did our best to make sure our volunteers felt appreciated by doing things like providing virtual snacks, celebrating virtually whenever a vote went our way, and virtually cheering them on at every opportunity. Nonetheless, the endless debates and minimal break time eventually started to wear down even our most dedicated volunteers. So when adjournment finally came at 8:38 p.m. Monday night, we all pretty much had the same reaction. In all seriousness, the PDA delegation to the ADA House of Delegates did amazing work, and it was my privilege to be able to support them in that. I urge each and every one of you to reach out and thank the delegates and alternate delegates in your district, because their willingness to donate their time and talents is the reason why organized dentistry works for all of you.